Thank you. Okay, hello, I'm Matt Shaw. Anyone writing a book at the moment? Just one person.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Bit scary. I have a lot of thoughts. I will kill you. Okay, so you want to write books,
Yes.
You haven't started yet. Is it everyone else just wanting to write books?
I'm just curious.
Just curious, nothing wrong with that. Just wanting to write and not started yet. Okay, before we start, what are you actually writing? Is it a novel? Is it a novella? A short story?
Yeah, I'm hoping it can be a 100-page book. Actually getting into that point slash.
You're not going to like what I want to say.
That's fine.
But right, what we're going to do, we're going to start. I'm obviously a self-published author. The reason I am a self-published author is because I make more money than what a traditional publisher can offer me. A traditional publisher, be it with one of the big houses or one of the small presses, they take a percentage of any earnings that you're going to do. And sometimes, especially the small presses, they'll release your book for you, but they're not going to push it. You are still going to be pushing your work. All you're doing is giving this person a percentage of your royalties. Now, I'm not saying that small press is not the way to go, but if you want to be traditionally published, the best thing you can do first is go for the big companies. Let them say no, and then go to the small presses as your backup, because you never know. If you've just gone, oh, I'll never get in there and ignore it, you're basically telling me straight away that you think your work is shit. So I'm not going to be interested in it at that point. If you're like, oh, I sent it off to them, but they said no, I've gone on to this publisher, they said yes, I'll be like, well done for having a go at trying the big company. And they are very, very difficult to get into, so I'm not surprised they said no. There's no shame in getting a rejection. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that self-publishing is the way to go. You have to make your mind up as to what you want to do. Only you can decide what to do with regards to that. But to give you another idea, there is another author from England called Adam Neville. He did The Ritual, a Netflix film, and No One Gets Out Alive. Great author, used to be published, now he set himself up with his own company, and he self-publishes everything because he's realised that actually this is the way to go. So you just need to really think about what you want to do with your own career. You are going to see me looking at this quite a lot. I've done some cheat sheets. It's just because I'm really tired and I get brain farts quite a lot, so I'm just like, I don't know what I've said and what I've not said. So yeah, ultimately, do what's right for you. However, and this is perfect for you if you're just starting with your ideas. Sorry, are you writing anything yet, or just at the stage where you want to?
Trying. Yeah.
Trying. Okay, again, perfect for you. You're going to have to do some backward steps. Social media. Before you start writing, you need to start working really hard on social media. You need to be creating your character for the person that you want to be online, because when we're using social media, and I mean all of them, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, it is horrible because social media sucks. It's depressing, it's full of trolls, it's full of just arseholes that just want to constantly bring you down, but it is a necessary evil. Now you have to ignore the trolls on there, you've got to just push their thoughts, whatever they're saying to you, forget it, push it away from you. But you need to be creating an online personality, which you are going to be selling your books through, going into all the different book groups. For example, I write horror, so I'm part of a group called Books of Horror. And there's a splatterpunk group as well, where all of the people that would like my work hang out. And we go on outside, we talk shit, we hopefully get to make new friends. They like me as a person. When I release a book, they support it. If I'm there just a really shy person, which in real life I can be, so I'm just like, you're not going to sell anything. They might buy a book because they feel sorry for you. It's like, oh bless, he's tried. I'll have that one, but you're not going to get a career out of that. So get your online personality. With regards to an online personality, the easiest thing to do is think of 5 celebrities you really admire and take some of their traits. So steal it. As pathetic as it sounds, or rather as strange as it sounds, one of the people I admire the most in this respect is David Hasselhoff. The guy is so fucking arrogant, but I don't believe it's a real arrogance. I believe it is an act, because he really loves himself, but the way he does it, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's funny, he sends himself up, so you can't be offended by it. So I'm like, well, I'll take a bit of that. So, Russell Brand, if I'm in England, if I'm in America, just the way he kind of talks, the lazy way he talks, Americans like that. So I'm going to take that. Jack Sparrow, the cheekiness of it all, just the swagger and everything, I'll take a bit of that. And like I said before we started properly, Drop Dead Fred, because I love just being rude. And again, because I think it's the English accent out here, I get away with it. So I can drop the C-bomb an awful lot, and Americans seem to not get affected by it. Whereas if they're saying it to themselves, then you're going to get a fight. But take this, put it into a big pot, mix it all up, and then away you go. You're going to release this character into the real world. Be very careful with going in too strong. And what you definitely don't want to do is start every post with, hey, I'm writing a book. To start off with, I don't want you using social media and just pushing yourself as an author. The whole point first is just to go on there, recommend books, recommend films, chat with people, have discussions. If this person hates this book, film, don't argue with them, because that's their opinion. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to give your opinion of it. I mean, that seems impossible for most people on social media, but hopefully you learning this now, it will help you in the long term. To give you an idea, I used to do that. And I used to, when Amazon allowed us, I used to respond to 1-star reviews. So someone would say my book is shit. It wasn't funny, I thought that about your mum last night. And on Reddit, there was a whole forum dedicated to what a douchebag I am. And I didn't see it, I thought it was a bit of fun, I thought I was just letting off steam. But that had a massive knock-on effect with people that don't know that I'm playing a role. They don't know what my sense of humour is like. They are just mightily offended by everything I'm writing. And these people will never support me. Yeah, so just don't get involved. But the online personality is important because you're going to start selling yourself and not your book. But when your book is ready for release, you're then going to find it easier to sell, because straight away they're going to buy it just to support you because they like you. Hopefully they'll be wowed by your writing, and then they're going to keep buying whatever you release from that point. That's how you book them. And if you see another person do this, it's nice to do the same. Writing is a very lonely industry. If you can make friends along the way, keep those friends close to you. I've got a lot of people that I used to be pals with. We were all at the same point where we were trying to turn this into a full-time career. I've been doing it full-time now for over a decade, and more than half of the people that were doing it back then, we don't talk anymore. I have no idea why, but I find it quite sad sometimes, especially when what happened to Greg? Let's see what he's up to. You put his name in, he's unfriended you.
Oh, God.
And you're like, I don't know how that happened, but okay. So yeah, make friends along the way, keep them close to you, and if they're trying to write as well, be supportive of them. It goes without saying. What you don't want to do though, is you don't want to just get in the habit of sending friend requests to authors. The people that we are trying to make friends with online are readers, beta readers, reviewers, cover designers, all of the people, editors. You're trying to create a network around yourself. If you start doing friend requests to authors, or they're sending friend requests to you and you accept it, then soon you're just going to have a Facebook page of buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. And it's just bullshit, because no one's going to be buying the books. And if you look on the engagements on those posts, it's going to be very, very little. However, I can put an Udi on, I can cuddle my pug, find someone that looks at you the way Matt looks at his pug. Hundreds of likes. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the engagements, because then when you do finally drop a book advert, you're going to get a good return from the engagements. And again, that works on any of the social media platforms, but probably not OnlyFans. And then, when we're doing that, the thing is we're getting our name out there. So if we're on all the social media, making friends, chatting with people, that's what's happening. The name is getting out there. Now, all the time that we're doing this, you're going to start writing your books. And this is the part you're not going to particularly like. Why are you writing a 400-page novel?
Because I don't want it to seem too short.
Why?
Because a lot of people don't like reading short books.
Okay, I make a living from writing short books. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to write a novel. If that's what you want to do, you're going to do it, and hopefully it'll be a great success. But hear me out. When you write a novel, and same any of us, when we're writing our stories, no one knows us. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the price up, because you know how long that bastard has taken to write. You're like, this has taken me years. I want money. And I'll just quickly interject now, if you want money, do what those two people did and just fuck off. Because this is what we're looking at today is a long game. So it's going to take time. As a new writer, you need to set your price at the lowest price point possible. The reason being, you've got your novel out, looks amazing, sounds great, fantastic cover. Stephen King has got his new book
I
out.
was going to say, yeah.
They're going to go with Stephen King because they don't know you. But if your book is cheap, they're going to buy it. And hopefully give it a go, and hopefully they're going to love it, blah, 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 blah. However, you have taken so long writing this novel, what else have you got? Nothing. What you want to do, you want to flood Amazon. So we want to do short stories, novellas. I on my Etsy page, I sell the opportunity. You tell me what your fear is. I'll write you a drabble based on your fear and starring you, and then I start collecting it into a book, and then I can release that. Does everyone know what drabble is? A drabble is a 100-word story. So it's 100 words exactly. And if you've not ever written anything, then it's a good place to start, because it gets you into thinking of the stories, because you have to have a start, a middle, and end in a drabble. It can't just be a scene of 100 words. There's got to be a complete picture. But then you get into self-editing to get the word count down to 100, and really fine-tuning the sentences. So it's just really good to get the brain ticking. I love them. So I've literally been selling a book with 100 drabbles in it all weekend, just because I find them really well fun. And also you pointed out that people like big books. There's a massive market for people that want shorter work because they don't have the time to invest in a big book. Now, I'm not saying that people don't buy big books, obviously, but there is a big, big market. Like if you're on Books of Horror group, for example, you'll see people talking about their reading challenges, how many books they're going to read this year. They're not going to get through 200 Stephen King books. They're going to go for the little books. I like to think of myself as the perfect author to take to the toilet with you, although I realise I need to find a better way of phrasing that, because I don't want to George Michael it. What's the story about? What you want to do, have something short and snappy, because you want to be able to get their attention. So, I say the toilet because everyone loves to read something on the toilet. You pick it up, do your business, you put it down, off you go. Okay? So these are the busy, busy people that don't have time to get invested in really big stuff. So they want something quick while they're getting on with their busy life, just something to take away the stress of whatever's happened in the office or whatever. And then again, with the price point, it just really is heartbreaking to be selling 400 pages for 99 cents. More so because Amazon, if you sell for 99 cents, you only get 30% of that money. So it really does suck. So yeah, you've got drabbles, short stories, novellas, novels. You can put it all on Amazon. Now obviously you want to do a collection of drabbles, but you can do a short story from 1,000 words and you can sell it on Amazon. All you have to do on Amazon is make sure in the blurb you say, this is a short story intended for people on Kindle Unlimited. Does everyone know what Kindle Unlimited is?
I know my mom has it.
Subscription service where they can download books for free.
Oh,
Well,
is it like a digital library?
Yeah, it's like a Netflix for books.
Okay.
And I think it's like about $10 a month, if that. Because you get a lot of authors going, well, I'm not in Kindle Unlimited because it pays rubbish, because it does pay a different pricing structure. And I think I'm partly to blame for that, because when it first came out, we used to get like it was over $1 for every download. So I flooded the market with short stories, and suddenly I'm earning like £20,000 a month, because these people, they're not paying it, it's part of their subscription service.
Right. You do.
Yeah. And then our authors were really bitching about this, going, well, I've got a novel and it's worth the same money as a 10-page short story. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, think about your business plan then, mate. Rework it out and get on with it. Amazon cottoned on. I don't know whether it was just listening to their complaints or whatnot, but they changed it so we now get 0.005 cents per page read. Now, if you pick a book up like this and you read, guess what happens? You don't get any of that money because you are not reading that book in the eyes of Amazon. You are skimming it, so you don't get paid. However, authors go, I'm not going to put my work in Kindle Unlimited then because it's a rip-off for what we're doing.
Right.
Idiots. If you look, like I do one-to-one writing classes, and in my writing classes I actually share screenshots of my earnings for the last 10 years. In that you can see exactly half of my income is Kindle Unlimited money. So Kindle Unlimited money and then the people that buy the books. Now if my work wasn't in Kindle Unlimited, not only does Amazon stop pushing me as hard, so I get swallowed up by the people that they want as part of their subscription service. But suddenly, this audience, they're not reading my work. There's no guarantees that they are then going to go over here and download my book. They'll just go, well, this person's in the subscription service, so I'm going to have that. And then they'll go and read that, and you've just lost someone. Does it happen all the time like that? No, probably not. Someone will go, well, I still want that book and I'll buy it. But the whole idea of us trying to get started as writing is we want as many readers as we can, so we have to go Kindle Unlimited. Now on that note, there's another website, well, loads of other websites where you can put your digital books. It's a really bad idea to go wide with your distribution. You want to stick to Amazon. And as horrible as that sounds, because they are a shit company, they are, think of them as a supermarket. You've got your product on the shelf here, you've come to buy this product. You've come to buy a tin of sausages. But as you walk past, you accidentally see this product and you think, oh, what's this? And you buy it. If you're on the smaller websites, like there's one that's dedicated to horror, yeah, you're going to get people buying your books. But it's a very specific number of people going to this website for a very specific thing. So they want the horror books, fine. But suddenly, all of these horror authors are in competition with each other. And they're all fighting for 50 cents. You need to be over here making a splash in the charts. And it is very, very easy to get a best-selling book on Amazon. And if you'd like, I can tell you how. You cheat! Because everyone cheats in life to get ahead. Right, what we want to do, you want to flood Amazon firstly, so you want your short stories on there, making sure that you are putting in the blurbs that it is a short story intended, for the Kindle Unlimited, blah blah blah, all that bollocks. Then when you move on from there, You're going to get your novellas on there as well. When someone reads a short story, they love it, they're going to go get the next short story. They're going to get the next short story, they're going to get your novella. You're going to be writing at such a pace with your short stories and novellas that hopefully by the time they've finished your back catalogue, they'll then go and buy your new one. And it starts becoming a vicious circle of what's happening. Or rather lovely circles, because there's nothing vicious about that, your bell end. So yeah, I wrote a novel, and this is something that might benefit you, called The Killer Confessions. I split it down into 6 or 7 parts, and I released it every 2 weeks. Now I was copying Stephen King with his old book, The Green Mile, which was a serialised novel. So I thought, well, why can't I do that? There's another extreme horror author, and I believe her name is Amy Cross. I may have just got that completely. Was I right? Thanks. And I noticed that she was doing this trick as well. Because you've got all of these books in the same series, you go on Amazon, on the website where we upload the books, which we'll be talking about in a minute, and you set them all for pre-orders. Now, meanwhile, your friends that you've got on your Facebook page, the ones you've been talking to all the time you've been doing this, they think, all right, I'll pre-order your books. And they'll go and they'll pre-order these books. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks, go in the charts, and you will notice, like I did with my book, on the top 10, I was 6 of them. Now that's the visibility that we want. And that's just by getting one novel and splitting it down into 6 parts and stating it's intended for people on Kindle Unlimited, and at some point I'll put it all together. I'm not looking forward to question times because you're giving me some real we might skip questions for this session. I'm like, fuck it, I'm out of it. Yeah, that's taking one novel and splitting it down and then just releasing it like that. And the bestseller tag comes because you can get yourself in some really obscure charts. I'm #1 author for Dinosaur Erotica. There's a great book called Fisting Rex. It's available now. About a caveman that falls in love with a T-Rex. But got in there, got in the charts. You get the little tag next to your title, bestseller. Yeah. There's an author in England that used to go around conventions. Can I come as a guest? Look, I'm a best-selling author, and he'd show screenshots showing that he's a best-selling author. Now, because he's in fucking Dinosaur Erotica, or lesbian ballet dancers licking jam off penises because they want to be experimental, just off the top of my head, I've not been in that chart yet, but I think I could.
Pretty creative.
Yeah. The convention people aren't seeing this side of things. They're just seeing bestseller. So they think this person has actually sold one fucking book to get that bestseller tag. They're like, oh, he's a bestseller, let's get him in. And then they're like, why is that author not attracting any readers to our convention? But it's a way of cheating the system. Because if you come to a convention as a vendor, and you're an author, suddenly it's really hard to sell books. If you come as a guest, then a lot of the time people, even if they've never heard of you, they think you're someone, so they're going to buy the book. It's a really sad way of looking at it, but it's something that I've learned over the years. So now I don't do shows where I'm a vendor because you're just fighting against everyone else. So you need to work the system, get the best-selling tags. Hopefully by following these little routes that we're doing, you're actually going to build your readership up. You're going to get loads of engagements on your social media pages, which looks busy for the hours of the conventions and things like that, and then obviously helps with the pre-orders and the sales. Never get a book finished and drop the release without setting it up as a pre-order first. Because on day 1, you're going to get a few sales. On day 2, you're going to get a few sales. Then you might get none. A week later, you'll get some. But it's really hard to go up the charts like that. If you set it as a pre-order, you get all of your sales tallied up. Then when it comes out, boom, straight up the charts. And hopefully in a proper chart, and get a proper, decent bestseller tag. Because when you get that tag, don't say that it's, I'm #1 in Dinosaur Erotica. And another thing, just on a tangent, Don't set a book, because you can set books as free promotions. Do not get it to number 1 on a category where it's free and say you're a best-selling author. The amount of times I've seen that, and I'm, no, you're a best giving away author. You're earning absolutely nothing from that. You're just giving crap away. So just keep that in mind. Have you written your book yet, or still writing?
I think I have 40 pages now.
What are you going to do when it's finished?
Has to figure out where we're going there, because I've only just
Editing. Editors, we need. Do not ever self-edit a book and release it, because even if you think you are a mastermind at this, and you could well be a mastermind at it, you are going to miss stuff. But also, don't be too upset if a book gets released, which does have some errors in it. My books have got errors in it. I'd only be upset if suddenly everyone was like, oh my god, all the typos, all the every review came back saying the same thing. I'd be like, fuck, I need to sack my editor, which is really awkward because it's actually my mum. And I don't pay it. So yeah, you need to just be really mindful of that. Don't try and self-edit it, and mistakes are going to happen. I read Anne Rice's book once, obviously a major publisher. Can't for the life of me remember what the book was, but there was one page where there was not a single space. So it's all the words there, but it was just like one super long word. Headache. Yeah, but this is from a major publisher, so it happens. Stephen King's, they're going to have some errors in there. Fine, not as many, but look at the thousands and thousands of dollars that have gone into this. We, as new authors, want to do as little as we can cost-wise for our books because we want to make money back, especially when we're only selling it at 99 cents and relying on 0.005 cents per page read Kindle Unlimited reads. If you're spending thousands on editing, straight away you are never going to turn this into a career, and it's going to suck. Editors, to find them, all you want to do is you want to go on your books of horror, Facebook pages, your Twitter groups, all this sort of thing. Just talk to people. This is where we're networking. Again, I told you not to worry about networking with other authors unless you really respect them, or you're actually friends with them and you're supporting each other's work. If it's just strange authors that you've never heard of and they've sent you a friend request, fuck off. Because it doesn't matter. All it's going to be is they're going to be trying to sell you their book. Especially when there's no engagement prior to a friend request. If you're on, say, Books of Horror, and they're chatting with you and you're chatting back, there's engagement there. So you send a friend request, they send a friend request. Oh, yeah, you're all right, actually. And you get to know each other, and that's great. That's the way it should be. That's what we want to encourage. But we, on these groups, better off networking with editors, cover designers, all the people that we need, beta readers if that's the thing that you want to do, reviewers, blah, 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 the list goes on. With regards to covers, what we want to do, I like to try and keep things branded. Now, if you look at Stephen King, obviously he likes to do things branded, and that's kind of where I got one of my ideas from, because his name is always the same font, the same size, the same place. But on a bookshelf, it stands out as a whole. So what I did when I was writing, it was purely by accident. I was working on a book for a publisher, and he was like, excuse me, I'm just going to go and read a bit more of Sick Bastards. And I thought, oh, I like that as a title. And if he thinks that's sick, I'll give him Sick. And I wrote 10 pages of this real fucked up thing where it's a graphic sex scene between a boy and a girl. The door opens, a woman comes in. Fuck's sake, put your sister down, dinner's on the table. So they go down, dinner's on the table. It's a man strapped there, naked, the father there carving him up. And I thought, I really like this, I'm going to keep writing. And it was like a 260-page novel by the time I was finished. I was enjoying it that much. And I thought, when I release this, I'm going to get crap for it because it's horrible. So I don't want to spend money on a book cover. Now, I went into Barnes & Noble equivalent in England, a store called Waterstones, and I'm looking around all the book covers, and one author jumped out from all of the other books, and that was a guy called Irvine Welsh. Scottish author. He's known for, you probably know the film The Train Spotting. So he wrote that. But this cover, it was just a blue cover with the word porno on it, which was the title of his story. And that jumped out more than all the pretty pictures, all the expensive graphics. And I was like, well, shit, okay. So I went home and I did a black cover. Sick bastards. Warning. This material is not intended for those who are easily fucking snowflakes, basically. And then my name. And that's all I did. And I didn't care whether people liked it. I thought it tells a story. There's your title. There's a warning for the people that can't then bitch at me, but they do. And then you release it and you just sit back and forget it. Overnight, #1 bestseller, and I mean in a major category. Within a month, I sold the film rights to a major film company. They did fuck all with it. So the rights reverted back to me, but I still got a payday. And then from that moment on, I was like, actually, this is working. So my next book, Rotting Dead Fucks, porn, whore, all offensive, in-your-face titles with the black cover. This was my brand. This is what's making me. And I quit work very fast after that, and I've just been watching it snowball. Another author, Ian Rob Wright, said, once you've got 1 month at the top, as long as you've got the back catalogue, you've made it. Because they're always going to be buying the new stuff and reading your old stuff. And that's the way we go, which is why I say short stories, novellas, they're easier to do this faster than if you're doing novels. Again, if you want to do a novel, knock yourself out. Good luck with it. So yeah, but where do we get our covers from? Some of you are going to hate me for what I'm going to say in a minute, especially you. I just sense from the face. There's lots of places we can get the covers, but when we get the covers, the most important thing to remember is we need to keep it in thumbnail view, that it stands out. Because this is the first thing that people will see on Amazon, is the thumbnail of the cover. Then they're going to click into it and they're going to see the cover in all its glory. And then be like, yeah, I want that book. And they do judge a book by a cover, as sad as that is. So where do we get the covers? Again, on the groups that we're on, we're networking with people who do graphic design. We're getting good deals. Away we go. There's also websites called bookcoverdesigner.com. Sounds shit, but trust me, it's good. There's covers on there which are pre-made. They're $30 upwards, all the way up to $5,000. Don't ever spend $5,000 on the cover. You did, didn't you? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, don't ever spend $5,000 on the cover unless you're, I don't know, Neil Gaiman or Stephen King or something like that, because you're not going to get the money back. Also, when you're on these websites, keep in mind that the websites are charging the artist to work on there as well. So one of my cover artists, a guy called Mank Ho in the Philippines, I went to him direct because I tracked him down on Facebook. And I said, hey, you've got this cover here. Can I get discount if I buy it off you direct? Yes, I can. He took it off the website. I gave him the money. He gets more money because the website is no longer taking a cut. I get money off, so we both win. Now, whenever I need a cover, or he normally, whenever he's done new art, he emails it to me saying, do I want it? And a lot of the time, I have been a bastard and I've just bought it even though I don't have a story for it, because I'm like, that's fucking great. I don't want someone else using it. So I'll worry about it later. You just set it to one side. So that's really one way of doing it. Now when you buy a cover from a pre-sale site, once they sell the cover is sold. It cannot be resold. So it is your cover. So that's a good way of doing cheap covers. The one that people are probably going to bitch about is AI. There you go.
It wasn't a bitch, it was just, I just started thinking about seven fingers on everybody.
They're getting better. People bitch about AI. So people that bitch about AI covers are the people that were never going to buy your fucking book in the first place. Oh my God, use an AI cover, I'm not buying that book. I've never heard of you before, mate, and I've been here over a decade, so you weren't buying my work anyway. Fuck off, you whiny little bitch. And that's exactly how I feel about it. Because I like AI covers. Do I use them for everything? No. Do I see a benefit to them? Yes, especially for authors that are new. If you can't find a graphic artist that you can afford, and trust me, have a look around, because graphic artists are, there's some who will work for a very reasonable price because they're trying to get recognition as well. So they want their work out there. So always ask around and try and make friends with these people. So I'm not saying never use these guys, but also if we're in a budget problem and you've got this website over here that's offering something which you can then take and then you can change in Photoshop to make it original, even more, tweak it, or give it to a graphic designer to make it more fancy, then it's going to be a lot cheaper than spending hundreds of dollars on a cover. But it is a very grey area as to whether people like it or not like it. Now, I don't really give a shit because I'm a graphic artist, but I understand why graphic artists are upset about it. Flip side of the coin, AI is now writing books. I don't give a flying fuck. So I'm writing books, and I know that an AI book can never replicate what I do because it will never have the human art. So you've got emotion. It can tell the story, but it's going to be lacking emotion, blah, blah, blah. It's just not going to be as good. And if you're a reader that wants to go and read AI books, okay, I don't care. I'll find readers over here. There's never going to be a point in the world where everyone only uses AI for anything. Yeah. Skynet.
There's movies about this.
But it's just, people like to moan about things, and they're getting their knickers in a twist about it. And I'm like, well, does that mean you don't watch certain films anymore? Because I set up a film company since doing all the writing has taken off, and now I'm kind of a bit bored of it, so I'm moving over to films and things and making some of those. And a lot of the film stuff I have is very automated now. So I can literally put the camera on a tripod, have a track, sit there with my iPad, program it in, and then the camera can just fuck off down there, around the corner, pan around, zoom into another photo, and I'm not touching any of it. So technically that's the same as working with AI book covers or AI writing things. So where's it going to end? Are these people not going to watch that film? I don't know. So yeah, with the covers, we always want to try and keep it so that we're getting a brand. So use your author name. You want it big. Even sometimes the author name is going to be bigger than the actual title of the book. Do not be worried about that. We're trying to create a brand. We're trying to increase visibility. Like I said, novel, split down to 6, set up the pre-orders, into the charts I go. There's my name all over the place. And people are going to start seeing that, and they're going to go for it. So keep that one in mind as well. How's everyone doing? Just me that wants to die? Okay. Beta readers. Once you've got your book written, some people like to use beta readers. Where do you find your beta readers? This is going to be on the groups that we've done for social media. Be advised to any of you who are using beta readers, or well, I'll tell you, now, I fucking hate them. I did it recently because I released a book called Hub, which I can't put on Amazon because it's about an orphanage that sells the kids to rich folks so they can basically fuck them. I wrote it to upset people, and I put loads of warnings on it. Do not buy this if kids trigger you. Do not do this. This is purposely being offensive. I gave that one to beta readers because I knew they were going to say this is disgusting. They did. That book became my fastest selling book. And yes, I am getting people moaning about the content of the book, even though you've been crystal clear. But when you're starting out, beta readers, you get loads of people, I've written a book, who wants to read it? You're going to get loads of people, oh, I'll read it, I'll read it, I'll read it. You're lucky you get 10% of those people come back and say they've read it. Oh, that's, some people will come back and go, yeah, it's good. Or, nah, I didn't like that. There's no detailed structure there. So when you're looking for beta readers, make sure you friend request these people. On their, I use Facebook, so that's why I always reference Facebook more. When you go through it, their page, you want to see if they're reviewing books as a hobby. So if they are reviewing a lot of books on there, and their reviews are good, they're going to be great beta readers. If they've got nothing about books on their social media pages, they are going to be an awful beta reader. Do not use them, because they're just looking for freebies at this point. And there's a lot of people that want stuff for free. Or, you know, when you sell your book for 99p, they'll be like, oh, I don't know. And then they go and spend $15 on a Starbucks. Oh, I still don't know about that 99-cent book. It's depressing, but it is an everyday situation, and you just need to learn to just forget it. But yeah, it's up to you if you use beta readers, but keep an eye out for what they are actually doing. If they're reviewing, especially if they've got a Goodreads profile, which is like a massive book place, you're going to be fairly safe. Okay, and then we get to review copies. I finished the book. Anyone want to review it for me? Exactly the same process with beta readers. Are these people reviewing it? If they've got a review page, review website, and there's hardly anything on it, you know, there's not much traffic on it, do you want them to have your book for free? I personally wouldn't, because no one's going to see it then. I know that seems cruel because they may be trying to start themselves up, but if they want to start themselves up seriously, what they can do is they can go and buy books, review them, and make their website look really busy with lots of reviews. Because if they want to review books, you've got to start somewhere. You can't just rely on free stuff to come through. Okay, so does anyone know where we publish the Kindle books? No idea? Okay, what you want to do, you want to go on Google, and you want to Google Amazon KDP. On KDP, it's just a really, really easy structure of, you know, template of write your blurb here, write this there, write that there. And you just follow all the instructions, you set the price, you either take 30% royalty from Amazon or you take 70%. As new authors, we need to be taking 30%. It sucks, but that's the 99-cent price point. If you put your book at $2.99, you're saying I want 70% of this. But again, it's going to be harder to make a splash with sales until you start getting more of a backing with them. Now, in England it's different because we use a W8 Ben form for tax purposes, so we don't give anything to the IRS because we have a treaty. You guys obviously will have to pay the IRS. There are forms within KDP's site that you must fill in before you release anything. If you do not fill these in, when you release your book and it becomes an overnight success and gets you millions of dollars, Amazon's going to take away 40% of that immediately, on top of what they already take away. So make sure everything is filled in and confirmed by Amazon, and it will say that it's been accepted, and then release your work. Now with KDP, there's also the opportunity to make physical copies. Don't. Not through KDP. Their product is inferior to other publishing, other printing companies. The one I use is Lulu, L-U-L-U. Added bonus with Lulu. When you're buying your product, when you finished it, always use the promo code WELCOME15 because it gives you a 15% discount on every book. And for some reason, they're just not turning it off. So use it to your advantage. Their prices are cheaper than Amazon. Their product is better quality. Also, Amazon is very temperamental. I woke up one day to find my account hadn't been turned off because I wrote a story called Uniporn, where it was from a distance it looks like a unicorn, but when you get up close you realise it's a horse with a deformity. Basically it's got a massive erection on its head. So they sell it into the porn industry and loads of women ride it, and Amazon banned me overnight for that. So I had to use my readers to help me get back on Amazon and turn my account on. Now if you have got all of your eggs in one basket, so your paperbacks are over here, when that account gets switched off, you have just lost everything. And sometimes you can't get those accounts back. I got mine back because of my readers, because they started hashtagging, emailing, suddenly there's noise. If we're new in the game, that is a lot harder to get. You won't get it back. If you go on lulu.com and you put your books out there, they'll put that book on Amazon, which will automatically get linked to your Kindle book. But also, you've got the opportunity to go on Barnes & Noble's website and loads of other websites as well. Because you've got everything you need on Lulu, and much like KDP, it's box filling exercise. And if you want to do a cover, there's templates there. So you download the template, you make your cover. You write your book, there's templates there that you could use. Everything is there. It's a piece of cake. Fill the boxes in, follow the instructions, get stuck. I do writing lessons, $20 an hour, and I'll do it for you, with you watching, so you learn for the future. But honestly, you cannot go wrong with it. It is simple. That takes us to, sorry, we're moving really quick, so there's loads of information. That takes us through to audiobooks and a website called ACX, which is also part of Amazon. ACX is where you go to do your audiobooks. You put it in, you find your audiobook because it's all, you find your book because it's already on Amazon. So you just put the title in, Dirty Bastards here, click, it will find your book. Then again, you're just ticking boxes. What do you want to do? I want to pay someone to narrate my book. Where do you find the narrators? On the ACX website. They are all there. You can either pay them up front, or you can do a 50-50 split. So they'll go and narrate your work. They'll take half of your income forever. So if you've got a lot of faith in your product, if you think this is going to be a really good story, loads of people are going to download it. And audio is big. Do not ignore audio. Always pay up front, if you can. If you're not sure whether the book's going to sell, just do a 50-50 split, because fuck it. Yeah, move on to your next one already. Most of my stuff is 50-50 split because it's easier. Again, when I was starting out in the industry, I had more money because it's really hard to make money doing this job. So of course I'm going to go, yeah, we'll just go halves, mate. You take half of my earnings, it's fine. And it's only on that particular title anyway. Then if it takes off, you get more money. Next time you can pay someone. Move on from there. So yeah, that again, very simple. It's just the narrator that you choose, whether it's 50-50 or pay up front, they're going to do each chapter at a time. You're going to go on the ACX website because you're going to get an email saying, hey, the chapter's done. It'll say, do you want to listen to it? If you want, listen to it. You either accept it or decline it. And they say, yes, that's fine. Are you happy to publish that? Yes, I'm happy with that. So that's how simple it is. You know, it really holds your hand throughout the whole thing. Once the book's done, it goes off to their quality checkers, and this can take a couple of weeks to a month or so. But then it's going to find its way over to Amazon. They're going to put it on Amazon for you. So you don't need to stress about that. Speaking honest, I don't use audiobooks as much as I should, and I know I'm making a mistake because there is a big, big marketplace for it today in today's world. Like I said with you with the shorter books, now there's more and more people who are too busy to pick a book up. Drivers, for example, they're going to listen.
I hope they can't pick the book up.
I tried it once and it died. Although that was Playboy, so might be why. One hand, no. Not going there. Yes, so, fuck, now I'm being thrown off. So when you, they'll be listening to it, you know, the truckers in America, they can get through loads of audiobooks and things, and it's good money. Sadly, with Amazon KDP, you set the prices. With Lulu, you set the prices that you want to charge. And there's recommendations throughout all of this on all the websites. ACX does that for you, so you don't get a choice. And that's why I don't really like audiobooks, because my work is shorter. So it's something really expensive for something that they can listen to in an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's not really worth it. But let's loop back to the short stories we're doing, because we've done loads by now. Yeah. We're going to take all of these short stories and we're going to put them together and we're going to release them onto Amazon as a bulk deal for people not in Kindle Unlimited. So all these people over here that have been like, oh, I really want that, but not Kindle Unlimited and I don't want to pay 99 cents for 20 pages. They're now like, oh, this book's out now. Look at them, there's loads of pages. By putting the collection on Amazon. You can now find the collection on ACX, put the title in, and then that is an audiobook worth doing, because now it's a lot longer. Do not do them individually, because you're not going to get the sales, you're just wasting your time and the narrator's time. Now, one thing that a lot of authors are ignoring at the moment, and it really pisses me off, is Etsy. Does everyone know what Etsy is?
Yep.
Yep. I think of Etsy like I do Amazon. You know, yes, my product is here. You come in to buy my book. You're on Etsy just browsing for random shit. You hit the right keyword and you see this, and you go, what the hell's this? This looks amazing. I love that guy. He's great. You're going to buy this book. So again, you've got a choice to have a website with all of your books on, but that's to a very specific marketplace. You know, this is people that must know your name. They must know you as an author before they find the website. But your website's costing you money each month because you're paying for a domain, the space, the e-commerce part to sell stuff. It's not worth doing. I don't have an author website. maxshawpublications.co.uk will take you straight to Etsy. And on Etsy, it's been going for 4 years. At the start of this month, I hit my 4,000 sale on there. And we are, what, the 22nd or around then? I'm now at 4,300 sales. So I have 300 sales on Etsy this month alone. And it's going crazy to the point of I think I'm going to actually need someone to help me run it and get the stock ordered and things like that, because it's a nice problem to have, but it's a lot of work. Even if you've only got one book out, it's better to have that somewhere where readers can go and buy a signed copy of it. If you're ignoring it, you're just cutting that part of the market out, especially when you're a new author and you've got all of the friends you've been making on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, blah, 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 blah. They're going to want to buy a signed book off you. You're going to go on lulu.com with your welcome 15 code. You're going to get a cheap book. You can go on Transglobal Express on Google for cheap shipping abroad, because people overseas are going to want to buy it, or even in this country, and then you're going to ship your book to them. By not having the Etsy store there, you're just cutting your nose off to spite your face. It's better to have it there, not use it, than just miss out entirely. And again, we're looking at the long game here. This is something that is going to be built up over time. Right, lastly, that we'll go into is foreign rights and translations. You don't need to worry about any of this until you've got your work out there. Once you've got your work out there with your best-selling tags, with your Facebook page has got a few hundred followers, then you can start going to foreign publishers and asking them to publish you. What I did, for example, with one of my publishers, I got in touch with them and said, right, I don't want anything for this, but do you want, and I offered him Sick Bastards, like my biggest book, I said, do you want this for free? Because then they're going to go off, they're going to translate it, which will cost them money. They're going to do new cover artwork for it, it's going to cost them money. Then they're going to put it out there. And I put my money where my mouth was. I was like, I know your readers are your audience is going to like this, so just take this book for nothing. Have a go at it. See how we get on. As it was, they wouldn't accept the book for nothing. So straight away, you're dealing with a decent company. They're like, well, we're going to give you royalties. Now they give me like €300, so we're not talking mega money, but it's still something they never had to give me. And then I got a nice royalty check at the end of the month when it was released, and ever since I've been dealing with them. And they've even flown me out there to put on events specially for me in their warehouse where they invited their readers down, and it's literally non-stop signing for 4 hours with them. And that's just because I got cheeky and I emailed the guy that runs it and I said, hey, if I give you this for free, do you want it? And he took it. When we deal with these people, ideally you're going to get an entertainment lawyer, and this is what's going to cost money. If you do it without an entertainment lawyer, you're going to get fucked over so bad. How do I know? Because those bastards in South Korea have never paid me a single fucking penny. They published 5 of my books. I've never had a single penny. And now they just ignore all my emails. So I've got a choice, because I didn't get a contract done by a professional. Do I go to South Korea and take them to court? Had I gone to an entertainment lawyer, we would have made the wording, any court action would be done in my country, and then they would have, so that was a very expensive lesson to learn. So since then, for France, German, Japan, another one I didn't do an entertainment lawyer for, because it was a small company, was Poland. Guess what? Never been paid. So they took my books, and then they shut up shop. Yeah, if you Google my books, they're still available. But all they did was shut up their Facebook page. So in short, they're cunts. But again, they're not answering my emails, so what can I do? Right, that's obviously a real quick look at the whole thing. So setting up a brand, you need your online personality, you need to do all of these things to give yourself the best chance. I have got a book here which has everything in there, which is just $10 if anyone wants a copy. Or on YouTube, there's a video called So You Want to Be a Writer, where I got drunk and made a 45-minute video, which basically says a lot of what we've talked about today. So in case you do go home and have forgotten anything, and there are lots of little tutorial videos on YouTube as well, which I've done. Or again, if someone does get properly stuck, I do writing classes one-to-one, which are tailored individually to the person's needs, because there's no point in just sitting in a room and trying to learn like that. If you are doing writing school or anything like that, fuck it on, this is free. Because I did one in England, we've got something called Open University. I thought I could do this. I'm a published author. I do this for a living. I can write a story. And the teacher was just marking me on my story content, as opposed to like the structure, the grammar, and things like that. Now, fine, but you might hate my book, you might love it, you might love it, you might love it, you might hate it. Art is subjective. So to be marked in a school environment on something like that is just pathetic. Another example, I got detention in secondary school, so I was like 15, 16 years old. I was reading an author called Sean Hudson, who's quite a big British horror author. Got detention for reading it because it wasn't school worthy, it wasn't suitable. During the pandemic, I co-wrote a book with Sean Hudson, and I sent it to the school. I don't know whether the teacher's still alive or whatnot, but I just gave him a copy, because why would I not? Right, that's pretty much everything done without trying to take all of your evenings. Has anyone got any questions or anything? We good? Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for coming. Like I said, if you get stuck, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook and just ask me if it's a real simple question or whatnot, and I'll try and help you as best as I can. Other than that, good luck with all your writing endeavours, and I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Oh, I get clapped. I didn't even get clapped yesterday. Oh, you're better than yesterday, you bastard.